Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and I'm joined today by my very, very special guest. He is a Patreon backer, he is a longtime fan of the show, and he is the first of a new thing I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be trying to have more of you subscribers on the show, and he's going to be helping me preview the Week 10 matchup versus the Washington Redskins. It is my friend, Tommy Travis. Tommy, how are you today?
Oh, I'm living the dream, James. Living the dream. We got a good game. This is a good test for our team this week. This is about the time when our team usually either shows that, hey, we're gonna go on a stretch where we can win some games, or we're gonna be looking high in the draft again, one or the other.
I know, absolutely. And two things to note here is one, I know it's a still picture of Tommy right now, his webcam. He hasn't set up his equipment yet. Is that correct, Tommy?
No, I have my Skype on right now. If you want to go ahead and try that.
It's your call. I mean, for me, the still picture is fine with me.
Yeah, still picture. Yeah, we'll just do a still picture.
All right, we got the still picture. And then number two, if you guys want to go follow Tommy on Twitter, the link to his Twitter is in the top of the description. He talks about Bucs football, among other things. It's wonderful. You retweet a lot of cool stuff, is one thing I've noticed, like Bucs articles and news reports, not only on the Buccaneers, but like certain events the Bucs are doing, and then injury reports for the other team as well, which I think's awesome.
Yeah, I'm a disabled vet, man, and I'm blessed to have the things I do in my life, and so a lot of times I'm able to sit at home and just look up Bucs stuff, and I know for your channel I try to help you out with retweeting stuff so you can get the word out faster. You know what I mean? Yeah,
no, absolutely, man. I do greatly appreciate that, and it's amazing, man. It's awesome. You're on top of things. Seriously, I think more times than not you're on top of things way more than me. So I greatly appreciate.
I appreciate that, man.
I greatly appreciate that. But anyway, Tommy, like I was saying, my friend, we are previewing the Week 10 matchup versus the Washington Redskins, and like what you said, this is another situation for the Bucs to hopefully get things going. They're in a rough situation right now. They are 3-5. They've lost a couple of games now in really sad fashion. This is our second loss in a row, right? Because we lost to the Panthers, and then we also lost to the Bengals.
Yeah, it was that Browns game that kind of mixed. We got a W in there, and that's what split it up.
Right. So right now, the past 4 games were 1-3. That's not good. So obviously, you still hopefully want to think playoffs, and Bucs are still quote unquote in a hunt for a wild card spot, and you got to think that this is going to help lean either give a little bit more hope towards the playoffs or just absolutely kill it. So at this point, every win matters, right? Or every game matters a whole lot. It's like we're playing playoff football every week, right?
Oh yeah, right now it's like the college football playoff race. It's like if you lose, it's not going to look good for you down the long stretch right now, and this is when our team should be gelling together by now. This is when other teams are usually have gelled by now, and I think our defensive line has probably gelled the best as far on defense, even though it's not getting the pressure enough. But with JPP getting those sacks, it's definitely bringing hype and an eye to our defensive line.
Absolutely, man. We're going to be breaking down all of it, offense, defense, maybe not special teams. Special teams is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with our special teams, okay? There's nothing.
Hey, Big Cat. Hey, I'm a Big Cat supporter like you are, brother.
You got to support the Big Cat. And just seeing everybody in the chat right now, Buccaneers Nation, hello. Siren's here, TB Bucks, Kevin, David's here. Getting a couple thank you for your services, Tommy. There you go to you. Kevin said it. David said it.
You guys are worth it, man. You guys are worth it.
And then Demand says hello, and it's good talk, man. It's good stuff. Seriously, it's very good.
No, this is awesome. This is awesome. I really greatly appreciate this. This is cool, man.
So, Tommy, the first thing that I want to talk with you about is injuries, okay? Because me and you were actually just briefly talking about this before we started the live stream. It's going to be the most important thing. A lot of people want to know who's going to play for the Bucs, who's not going to play for the Bucs. Can you go ahead and give me a little bit of an injury report on both sides of the ball right now, and kind of we can break that down? Let's start with the Bucs.
Yeah, we'll start with the Bucks. Right now, this is, let's see, Greg Allman tweeted this out yesterday, but so it's still current. Vinny Curry, Ronald Jones, Evan Smith, and MJ Stewart, they are out for this game. So that means Evan Smith won't be coming in for Caleb Benno block. And MJ Stewart won't be getting burnt. So we'll see how that goes. Peyton Barber is listed, but he did full participate, and same with DeMar Dotson, Mike Evans, and JPP.
Okay.
Now, rolling to the Redskins, we actually got kind of a break with Chris Thompson, a really good running back, especially for receiving back. He's out. Trent Williams, I think their best offensive lineman. He's a Pro Bowl left tackle. He's out, and then we just found out Jamison Crowder, he's out. So that should be a big game for their receiver. His last name's Harris, I believe, or Morris, one or the other. He's supposed to fill in and have a huge game for Crowder. But with Crowder and Trent Williams gone, that's a big opening for Carl Nassib, for JPP. Maybe even Noah Spence will get in there. We never know.
Hopefully, who knows? So, breaking down the Bucks side first, like I said, Vinny Curry. Did you say Evan Smith, right? Evan Smith's out?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Evan Smith is out.
Okay, and then MJ Stewart, and then
Ronald Jones.
Ronald Jones, okay. So, that's a little bit unfortunate, especially for the case of Ronald Jones. I talked about this yesterday, right?
Yes.
And now that Peyton Barber's a little bit shaken up, do you expect to see a little bit more of Jacquizz Rodgers and Sean Wilson get into the fold this game, or are they going to... I mean, obviously we don't run the ball a lot anyway, but do you see maybe one of these guys like Sean Wilson getting more playing time, or do you still see it as a situation where Peyton Barber and Jacquizz Rodgers are still going to carry the load there with Ronald Jones out?
To be honest, I still see the Peyton Barber and Jacquizz Rodgers, but to be honest, when Ronald Jones was ruled out, I believe he was ruled out last week as well, and Sean Wilson was activated, I thought he was going to take a lot of the screen snaps, a lot of those snaps. Not really third down, obviously. That's all Jacquizz Rodgers does, is come in on third down and help block. But I really thought Sean Wilson's role was going to be up, but I guess he's still at that point where he's not up to that level. And then, like you said, it's bad, or not bad, but it's kind of disappointing for Ronald Jones because, man, if he can just get his feet under him, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's one of those situations where if he can just finally, he's had a lot of obstacles this year. Absolutely. I mean, Sean Wilson, somebody is saying that more Sean Wilson, less Jacquizz Rodgers.
Hey, we know what Jacquizz can do, and actually, I think his game has slowed up a little bit because he's just getting older. I think this is really going to be his last year.
One thing I was disappointed in the last game with Jacquizz Rodgers specifically was his pass blocking. I think he did not do a good job pass blocking. Hopefully he gets better in this game. I know the Redskins' defensive line is pretty good in some respects, so we're going to need him. And it also sucks that Evan Smith isn't there because Caleb Benenoch is awful. What do you think about the whole Caleb Benenoch situation, Tommy?
I'm probably with you and about every other Buccaneer fan that's at least listening to this chat right now. But I had so high praise and high hopes for him at the beginning of the year during training camp. It seemed like he was doing good. At this point, I'm like, let's throw Kappa in there let's at least get him some trial by fire, you know. Let's get a baptism by fire, get him in there because I don't think it could get any worse, like you said in your video the other day.
Yeah, no, because like it's one of the situations where it can't get worse. A lot of people were just recently. A lot of people were talking about how Ryan Jensen, he's one of the worst rated in Pro Football Focus, which I get. He's in the bottom half of centers in the league. So I was like, oh, I wonder where Caleb Benenoch is. He's the ranked 64th guard in the league or something like that. And that I averaged it out, or it was less than 64th, or it was more than 64th, because whenever I averaged it out, he was actually worse than some backup guards, because I took the number and I divided it by 2, and I think I got like 34 and a half. And I was like, oh, great. There's like a couple of backup guards that are better than him right now, technically.
Oh,
good.
Totally.
Good to know. That's disappointing. Kappa, Kevin's saying Kappa deserves some snaps at right guard. I agree with that. I mean, at this point, again, it can't get much worse.
What about Licky? I mean, Licky did really good in the preseason. He was thrown everywhere, too.
I mean, me personally, I'm biased. I want us to re-sign Adam Geddes.
I was just about to say your boy Adam Geddes.
He needs a job, I mean, it's even now gotten to the point where you should tell you. I don't even think Caleb Bennock should last past this off season. He's really not doing a good job, is he?
Well, no, and I think what really screwed us up is when we didn't re-sign Kevin Pamphil.
Yeah.
Because we had drafted him, we had spent the first 3 to 4 years, or I'm not exactly sure, the first few years of his career shaping him, and then now he's signed a major deal with Tennessee, which is good for him. All props to him. But damn, we let a really good offensive guard go, because he could play tackle and guard. I think he would be filling in for Beninock, no doubt.
But like Beninock right now reminds me of do you remember offensive lineman the Bucs used to have called O'Neal Collins? He was this.
I remember Anthony Collins.
It was Anthony Collins, and then there was O'Neal Collins, I believe. It was O'Neal something. He was an old signing from the Browns, and he was kind of that right guard, right tackle swing type thing. He was awful. Yeah. he was very bad.
Yeah.
So he kind of reminds me of that right now. And then also, so Ronald Jones, Evan Smith, Vinny Curry's out as well.
Again, yes.
Oh, it's O'Neal Cousins. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for that. O'Neal Cousins was his name.
O'Neal Cousins. That kind of sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I'm not sure when he played though. Yeah.
Yeah, he was here a couple of years ago, but anyway, Vinny Curry's out as well. That one's a little bit more interesting, because that means we're going to see a little bit more of an opportunity to Carl Nassib to play.
Exactly. That's your boy now. I mean, he is lighting it up. He is playing with fire.
He's really good right now. Tommy, what do you think? What do you think of Carl Nassib so far, and what do you think he can contribute to this pass rushing game upcoming versus the Redskins? Especially keep in mind, like you said, the Redskins' offensive line is very hurt right now. I think they're without almost every single one of their starters, if I'm not mistaken, at some point in this year. They've either gone on the IR or they've missed a game. And now it's to the point where they might not even have any of their starters in. Do you think Carl Nassib specifically can take advantage of that?
I do, and I going back to what you're saying, like on just Carl Nassib in general, what a steal we got, I think, man, from the Browns. I could not believe they gave him up. He is playing with so much intensity. He really showed it against the Browns. He was setting a statement of like, you screwed up.
Yeah.
And but I think what he can do, especially in this game, is I don't know how they're going to rotate him. I'm guessing he's going to start opposite side of JPP, but there's a really cool blitz that they like to do, it seems like, where they bring Carl Nassib and JPP where they're standing up in front of the center, and there's 4 other down linemen. Have you noticed that type of blitz that they've done? It works really effectively. JPP and Carl Nassib are both standing up, right up in front of the center, like linebackers almost.
Oh, okay.
But I've noticed that a lot, that blitz. It's almost where they each do a stunt where they go opposite ways. But I think he's going to have a huge role, because with how the Redskins' offensive line is right now, yeah, I really see Carl Nassib just pushing in, because I think he wants to get a contract. I really think, and I believe that this is his time to shine, to say, I'm one of the best defensive ends in this game. I can play,
Yeah, especially for how young he is. He's a guy I want us to re-sign on a couple-year deal, and
Yeah.
he's definitely a big deal. And then for JPP, those two seem like they'd be a nice defensive end combo for next season as well. You know, not just this year, but for next season as well. Those two look pretty productive together. Whenever you factor in
They
Gerald McCoy as well.
Oh yeah, they do. They get off the ball fast. Especially, I mean, obviously JPP does, but Carl Nassib does. He gets off the ball really, really quick. JPP is just an animal. Let's just be honest, he's just an animal.
Yeah.
There are plays I've noticed where he doesn't give complete effort, and a lot of times the ball's going the opposite way. And he's, what, a 9-year vet. I'll give it to him on that. He's a designated pass rusher, but the one obvious part that is really good about JPP is he's really good at the run game too. He's really good at stopping the run.
No,
and with Adrian Peterson tomorrow, we're gonna need it.
Oh yeah, no, we'll talk about AP soon. We will definitely talk about AP soon.
Yeah, I don't mean to jump ahead. My bad.
Oh no, it's all good, man. Real quick, actually, Tommy, it's the Marine Corps' birthday today.
Yes.
There you go. So shout out to the Marine Corps. Happy birthday to the Marine Corps.
Yeah, happy birthday, Marine Corps.
That's actually very cool. I did not know that. Thank you for that, Kevin, or Kev C. Thank you for that. That's actually very cool. Shout out to you guys. Next thing I want to talk about, Tommy, is did we miss anybody on the injury report? We had Evan Smith, Ronald Jones, Vinny Curry, and then was that it? Or was there any?
MJ Stewart.
Yeah, he's just the defensive version of Ronald Jones right now in my mind.
Yeah, I know. Like I thought he was going to be a good shutdown corner looking like in preseason. He was looking really good, wasn't he? I mean,
yeah, no, in preseason and in training camp, he looked very good. He looked very good, and then now it just seems like injuries have gotten him. He's slowed down a little bit. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I know we'll get to this, but Carlton Davis, I agree. He's going to be a future shutdown corner. Maybe not shutdown, but he's going to be able to we'll put him on one side, or we'll just put him on there for their cover guy. He's such a good cornerback.
No, he Carlton Davis is absolutely. Again,
Yeah.
future number one cornerback for me, and especially with some of these Redskins wide receivers being out now, Jameson Crowder, that one's huge. I was very scared of Jameson Crowder.
That, and also too, Jordan Reed is banged up. Their tight end, so that's another thing to look out for. I just thought about that.
Yeah, no, Jordan Reed's always banged up. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's a bit mean, but I'm very happy this is a banged up Redskins team because when fully healthy, their offense can be a little bit concerning, you know?
Well, and I think one reason why they're banged up is because they like to run the ball, and that can wear down. That obviously wears down the defense, but it can wear down your own guys.
Yeah.
So.
No, I absolutely agree. It's nice, you know. Thankfully, our defensive line's been doing okay this year, getting pressure, all things considered. League's better than last year. Oh my gosh. But
oh yeah, you're way better.
Yeah, you know, it's, you know, all things considered, this team is looking way better than it did last year. And thankfully now this is a really, really, really good opportunity to get to Alex Smith and be able to take full advantage of that. And speaking of Alex Smith, Tommy, former Kansas City Chief quarterback, former San Francisco 49ers quarterback, was just traded this past offseason from the Chiefs over to the Redskins. We know how the Chiefs have been doing. Patrick Mahomes is the second coming of Peyton Manning, apparently. He's just a more, he's just a more athletic Peyton Manning. But Alex Smith, in my opinion, he's one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the league.
Yes.
What do you think about Alex Smith, and what do you think he provides for this Redskins offense, and what do you think the Buccaneers need to look out for versus Alex Smith?
To me, be honest, Alex Smith, when he's on his A game, he's an Aaron Rodgers that just can't throw the ball that deep.
Yeah.
But he's that good. He can be that good. I mean, there's a reason they came out in the same draft, and there was a controversy back then of who was going to go first, Alex Smith or Aaron Rodgers, and we saw that turned out. But with how he plays, because he's got very good touch. He can't really throw the ball deep, which is a good thing, but because he can, when he gets hot, he can tear up the middle, and that's where our defense has lacked in communication. Tyler Boyd blew us away with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially with the injuries to Quan Alexander and Kendall Beckwith. I thought Kendall Beckwith was going to play this game. I was wrong, as you know.
I did too, brother.
I definitely thought he was going to play. What do you think about this matchup of Alex Smith? And I'll even throw. I don't know if Chris Thompson's playing in this game. He might be.
He's not.
He's not. Okay, good. Thank God. Because
yeah,
the Bucs do not handle receiving backs well, but you still have to worry about Adrian Peterson. How do you think that the linebackers are going to do versus Alex Smith and Adrian Peterson specifically?
I believe Quan will be missed. I think Levante, because Levante, I believe, is wearing the green dot on his helmet, so he's getting in the plays.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done that. He did that his rookie year. He obviously he can do it. I just believe. Darius Taylor is a very good, solid special teamer, solid backup linebacker, but he's not your what you want in a starting middle linebacker. Now Quan, people say he's overrated and whatnot. He may have been having a little bit of a bad year, but stats aren't everything. He brought a lot of heart and soul and emotion. I mean, you could see when he would hit people, he would just drill them, and the team would just get all jacked up around him. They're gonna really have to attack him. We can't wait for him to run up to the linebackers. We got to attack those gaps. Assignment football is what's going to be key to this game. As long as everybody stays in their gaps and holds their gaps, and we can try to get AP at the line or before the line of scrimmage, that's going to be our best bet, because once he gets going, there's none of our DBs are going to be able to take him down. They're not big enough. Our linebacker core is actually a smaller linebacking core, but I think if we had Kendall Beckwith back in, that would definitely help because he's a bigger linebacker. But as long as we attack him at the line, man, that's going to be the thing, is attacking him at the line.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to go off on a tangent there, but...
Oh, no, dude, trust me, you did not go off on a tangent. If you remember, the last time that we played Adrian Peterson was against the Cardinals, and he killed us.
Oh, yeah. I remember I was in Jacksonville last year listening to that game, and I had to turn it off a couple times because I just couldn't even believe it.
Of all the people, right, everybody thought AP was done, and then he just destroys us, and then he does nothing right after, It was an AP. Yeah. It was an AP trap game. I don't want that to happen again. I hope that they learned from last year, and we don't have to have Adrian Peterson absolutely destroy us again. That would be miserable. That would be absolutely miserable.
It'll be the talk of the NFL this week, or ESPN if he does, because
the worst part was that AP's been doing a lot better this year than he did last year. He's been having some really nice games here and there. So I'm worried. I'm definitely worried, but I think it'll be okay. It's AP. Come on, he's like 100 years old. We got this.
Yeah.
And then, Tommy, I want to go ahead and move to the offense side of the ball because that's where we excel at as a team, obviously.
Yeah, number 2 offense in the I almost said the country, but I was watching college football all day today. But
number 2 offense. You're not wrong. You're technically not wrong. Number 2 offense in the league, country, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So, talking about our offense and just the firepower, one interesting thing I wanted to note real quick before we talk about that is Deshaun Jackson was named a captain for this game, correct?
Yeah. Yes, he was.
That's interesting. That's pretty interesting, especially with all the drama and whatnot, and all the news and rumors supporting Deshaun, and almost like a fraction in the locker room. Do you think this is the organization or Dirk Cutter, possibly whoever makes these types of decisions? Do you think that this is him trying to appease all of that and kind of say, hey, look, we're a solid team. You know, this guy was unhappy and now he's a team captain. You know, like calming rebellions and whatnot. You know, keeping the fracture from getting worse.
Yeah, I think you are right along those lines because I believe Deshaun knows how much talent is on this offense. Like with the weapons, it's ridiculous that we got O.J. Howard in the draft 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What was it, 19? At pick 19, nobody thought he was going to drop that far. He is such a huge weapon. Cameron Braid has barely been talked about, and he's a really good tight end. I think it's just he knows what can accomplish, and he's been on some fire-powered offenses, so he knows. And I think that's why he's just so emotional about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is because he knows the potential is so high that it's just frustrating that when things aren't going your way, it does get frustrating at times.
No, absolutely. I completely agree. It can definitely get frustrating, and Deshaun has not been he's not been shy of showing his frustration and whatnot. You know what I mean?
No, he's not. No, he's not.
So that's fine. You know, it is what it is. But Deshaun is part of this insane group of weapons: Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans, Adam Humphries, Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate. You know, we name them every week. You know, we name them every week.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fitz is starting another game here, which to me is interesting. First, this has nothing to do with the Redskins, but I want to ask you: do you think Fitz starts the rest of the year? Because I know a lot of people have been debating that.
I do not. I think if we start winning, or if he's putting up numbers like he has been, I think he'll continue to be the starter as long as he doesn't screw up too much.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's putting up numbers and we're still losing, I still see him as the starter until maybe the last couple games. They might try to get Winston some more playing time, because right now, I mean, like we were talking earlier, we don't know what's going on with Jameis.
In terms of his overall progression and whatnot, you mean? Hello? Oh, all right. I guess Tommy's out for a second, so I'll just fill in the gaps here. So anyway, I think what Tommy was trying to say there for a minute was that we don't know what we have yet in terms of Jameis Winston and his overall progression, which means that if things start to go a little bit south and our record starts to change a little bit, I think what he's trying to say is we can get the opportunity to play Jameis a little bit more, see what we have in Jameis, and then be able to go from there as things are. It says the call was dropped with Tommy. That's fine. We're gonna try and get him back on here in a second. Let's see. Let's see if we can get Tommy back on here. Hold on, everybody. Stay with me. Let's see what happens here. You back, Tommy? Tommy?
Hey, sorry about that. My internet. Yep.
Perfect. You got you back.
Went a little haywire.
So I was finishing your thought for you. You were saying that if things start to go a little bit downhill, we get the opportunity to see what we have in Jameis.
Yeah, because didn't we already pick up his fifth-year option, I believe?
Yeah, we already picked up his fifth-year option.
So then there's been all these rumors, we're going to trade him this offseason. I really don't see that, because you've put all this time into him. Mm-hmm. They're going to give him another year. They've already said they're going to pick up his fifth-year option. So because the way the team is gelling around Fitz, I see him starting most of the games, but I do not see him starting the rest of the year. I think something's going to happen, whether it's Fitz loses his magic and they got to go back to Winston, or it's just we're not even competing for the playoffs and they just want to get Winston to get his rhythm back again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. I already know what our offense is going to do. Our offense is going to do good, right? But
yes.
Speaking specifically on it, who do you think is going to have the biggest game in terms of our overall weapons?
I'm kind of going with what's I guess you could say, hot in the streets. But I think Adam Humphries might have another big game because he's just so quick in the slot. And he doesn't even have that good of a timing matchup like Winston does with Humphries, where they hook up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if because Fitz was going to him this past game, it's going to build his confidence even more. But I really think Deshaun is also going to have a huge game because it is his former team. He did get named a captain, and when he gets the ball, he's happy. So, and he doesn't, not really. I don't want to say complain, but he doesn't get distraught.
And I mean, Fitz is still good at hitting him, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Fitz can get him on the deep ball like crazy. We found that out weeks 1 and 2. I mean, the week 2, that first play of the game, that was insane.
Yeah, no, I hope for something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know. Every time we don't get the ball first, I'm like, dang it.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly how I feel, because it's like, man, we need to start off strong, you know.
Yeah.
That's actually something I want to talk to you about, because this will be the last thing we talk about here before we head out. Is we've talked. There's been a little bit talking about how this team never starts off well in terms of Dirk Cutter's career with the Bucs, not just in seasons but in games as well. Talking about how in the first half, the Bucs are a second half team, you know. The Bucs are a second half team, and Amazement, just to answer your question real quick, yes, Djax will be a captain tomorrow. But like I was saying, the Bucs aren't a first half team really. Do we see that change here? Because we haven't seen the Bucs really be a strong first half team since week 1 versus the Saints.
Yeah, really, weeks 1 and 2, and that was it as far as us starting off with a bang. You know, I've been looking up some of the reports on the defense for the Redskins today, because they got banged up pretty bad against the Falcons, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually one of the reasons why I won in fantasy, because they were like -4 in fantasy points, so it helped me out. So, but anyways, so I don't know. They might come out. They might be pissed off and want to show that they're a good defense, because they are a good defense. Kerrigan, I think Ryan Kerrigan, the defensive lineman.
Yeah.
He's an animal. Like I think he's gonna be on Donovan Smith a lot tomorrow.
Yeah, I get worried about Donovan Smith sometimes, because he's a very mixed bag. Sometimes he's very good, sometimes he's not good. Sometimes. What?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, what are your thoughts on Donovan Smith?
Well, it's like sometimes on Pro Football Focus he'll be rated as one of the best tackles, and then the next week he's one of the worst. So I'm with you. Like, I like him. I like watching the Allie and Donovan Smith show on the Bucs website, and I'm glad that Allie got moved over to left to kind of help out Donovan. Maybe that's why. I guess he was moved over to help him out. But it just seems like he's getting a lot of holding penalties.
Yeah, no,
it's kind of aggravating.
Kevin says that Smith is apparently getting an extension soon. That should be interesting to see what kind of money he gets too.
Yeah, you think he's gonna get top dollar tackle money, or?
I'm scared, because he might, if not because of his ability, if not because out of pure necessity of keeping a tackle that you've invested so much time and effort in. And there's a lot of tackles that are better than Donovan, but there's a handful of there's a lot of tackles that are worse than Donovan, but there's a lot of tackles that are better than Donovan, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you're right. We could be worse.
Yeah.
We could be in worse shape.
Right.
And we have been. I mean, before Donovan Smith, we were like, who the heck do we put at left tackle?
Anthony Collins, I guess.
Yeah, it was. Back when Mike Glennon and Josh McCown were trying to do whatever they could.
Yeah, no, it was a dark time. That was definitely a dark time.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tommy, we're going to go ahead and finish this off here. Real quick, couple of notes here. First is Bucks R Beast said, thank you for your service.
Oh, You guys are worth it. You guys are worth it. That's what I always say, and I mean it.
Buck Wild said, from, hold on, let me see. James, let him know, from one Army vet to another, ooh-ah. Did I say that right?
Hooah. Just say hooah. Not hooah. Just hooah.
Hooah. All right, got it?
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you, Tommy. And also, Buck Wild did a super chat. Keep up the great job. Hoist the colors. Go Bucks. Thank you for the super chat. $5 super chat. Buck Wild, you're a good man. I appreciate that.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And Tommy, real quick, I want to go ahead and ask you, what do you think your final score? What do you think the final score is going to be for the game?
Final score.
Loaded question.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be around 25-24, to be honest.
Okay.
I think it's gonna start off slow. I really think it's just gonna start off slow. I want us to start off fast. I just don't. I think it's gonna be a second half thing, and we're gonna hopefully be on that winning end. But I think it's gonna be a medium scoring 25-24 ish.
Okay.
Game. What about yourself?
Me personally, I'm going the exact opposite. Actually, I'm going to go 31-20. Bucks win. I think they come out strong. You know, have a pretty strong second half, and then they play ground control the second half of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish we would. Yeah, ground control. Like Peyton Barber. I remember when you came out with that bold prediction video. I totally was with you 100% that Peyton Barber would get 1,000 yards this season.
I need to stop. I need to stop predicting stuff. I'm wrong, like with my bold predictions.
If we ran him more, though, I mean, we only seem to run him in the first quarter. It seems like, and then when we're down, we're just trying to run.
I mean, we've been down a lot this
year. yeah, exactly. I mean, when are we not?
Yeah. Kevin said, "Do you remember the Kirk Cousins game?" And Shadow Siren followed that up with a "You like that?" So.
Oh yeah, that was my first semester. I was using my GI Bill after I got out of the military, and I just got home from school and was watching not from school, but I got home from something, and I remember watching the game, and I was like, oh sweet, we're beating them up, and then a little bit later I see that do you like that video, and I'm like, what the hell happened?
What went wrong? Everything went wrong, you know. But Tommy, my friend, do you have any final words before we go ahead and depart here?
No, man. I just appreciate the opportunity. This is great. This is an awesome thing you get to do for your subscribers. It's really awesome, man.
Of course, man. Hey, I'm love to have you on here more. To everybody watching the live stream, thank you for being a part of it, and thank you for sending Tommy. Thank you for his services and whatnot. Tommy, seriously, thank you for your service. That's You've done incredible things for all of us, so I seriously do appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
No worries, you guys are worth it. It was I was a dumb kid that didn't want to go to college and just decided to join the military, but it's made me the man I am today, and I'm proud of it, and I'm proud today. This is a funny thing to say, but I'm really proud to be a Bucks fan no matter what. So
seriously, man, I'm glad to have you on here, and I'm glad you can be a wonderful part of this community we've all grown together. Seriously, that does mean a lot.
Yeah, you have your community, man. Your channel that you started. I mean, especially you and Corey Draper. But I mean, you're doing an awesome thing. Mad props, and thanks again for letting me come on here and join the show with you.
Of course. So anyway, guys, that's all it for this live stream. Tommy, once again, thank you for being on. To everybody watching, thank you for viewing, and for everybody who watches this in post. Thank you for watching this in post, and let us all know what you guys think about all of this down in the comment section below. The Bucks offense versus the Redskins defense, the Redskins defense versus the Bucks offense. Or wait, did I just say that? Wait, the Bucks offense versus the Redskins defense, and the Redskins offense versus the Bucks defense. There we go, I got it right this time. Do you think the Bucks are going to win, lose, tie? Who do you think is going to have a big game? Let us know all that down in the comment section below. We're going to finish it off with Kevin here saying, college advice, look up for inspiration, down in desperation, and left and right for information. That's some advice right there, some solid advice from Kevin about college. So there you go.
Yep.
Tommy, thank you for being on, my friend. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Seriously, thank you.
Hey, thank you, man.
And anyway, guys, as always, and until next time, we will see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, goodbye for now. Right hand, Tommy. You taught me this. You taught me this.
Sir.
Right hand.
Yep.
Goodbye for now, and go Bucks.